All right, all of the packaging is off, all the stickers, the bags, everything is off. Now Signature are going to do a full assessment of the vehicle. It might sound strange, even though it's fresh off a truck, the thing is filthy. It's traveled from Germany and it looks like it's been on an open top lorry. It is dirt everywhere. However, it's not just about that. The Signature are now going to go around and it's almost a bespoke wash depending on what car it is and its situation. Now with this car being brand new and we've peeled off all of these stickers, there's lots of sticker residue around, and also it's their opportunity to check out the paintwork closely and cater the wash to this car specifically. Take the wheels for example. This thing has barely been driven and it also has carbon ceramic brakes, so they don't have to use a product on there which is quite as harsh as normal because there isn't any brake dust buildup. So yeah, it's nice to be able to tailor it specifically to this car. Okay, so the basic washdown of the car is being done. This is just pure natural water just to get off any major chunks, and then we're going to apply the snow foam application. This part of the wash is my favorite because it looks awesome, but let's check out what Tom's doing and find out why we're doing this in the first place. The reason this is happening is, despite it being a new car and despite it having its first washdown just now, there is still surface grime. And the snow foam basically lifts all of that grime off the surface of the car. So later on, when we eventually apply any contact on the car, the dirt is actually lifted from on top of the snow foam. Signature are also using an all-purpose cleaner. First time I've seen this stuff. Every time I come down here, I'm educated to something new. Basically, in all of the tight cracks, recesses around seals, badges and things like that, there's often harder to remove grime. It's a bit more built up, and this stuff just gets in the cracks, small brush, and etches it all out. All right, snow foam done, first wash done, and the all-purpose cleaner has been applied, and now it's time to wash off that first layer of grime and then onto the wheels. And straight away, you can see here on these tyre walls, that white foam instantly gone brown. This car has barely turned a wheel so far, so I'm not sure where it's all come from, but it just shows it's masked with dirt. Last stage before clay barring is fallout remover, and this is probably a little bit extreme for what's happening now, because it's normally designed for when cars have been brought in which have been on the road for some time and have picked up some brake dust and things like that. But as always with applying PPF, you can never be too careful, so that's being applied now. Any last bit of grime will be pulled off the surface and then it's back into the bay for clay bar. Now, usually with fallout remover, any contact with iron turns purple, but for obvious reasons, we aren't going to be able to see this on this car. But it's nice to know that anything that might have slipped the net will probably be all pulled off by this stuff. Right here, great example, look, we've got some fallout on the floor here, which is dripping off from the car. Chances are this isn't actually off the brakes. I mean, it's barely turned a wheel. They are carbon ceramic brakes as well, so brake dust fallout, particularly iron fallout from these, is very, very small. So this is likely to be stuff that has been picked up from the factory or even the transport along the way. No doubt the condition this arrived in, it was fairly dirty, it was probably on an exposed trailer. So that journey all the way back from Germany to here has picked up a lot more than I thought. Look at this, all the way down here. That's so shocking actually. This is a brand new car, yet all of that purple there is contaminant still on that car, even after being washed 3 and 4 times. It's madness, eh? Alright, full wash and body decontamination is now complete, and we brought the RS6 in the bay for clay bar time. We're going to be just taking off the surface any fine blemishes and problems which you can't see straight away, but using clay bar ensures that that surface is perfectly clean and smooth for when the PPF goes on. if this stage isn't done, you can sometimes detect slight lumps and bumps in the final application. So yeah, let's check out this process and see what it's all about. Okay. Clay bar taking place. It's being lubricated by Signature's quick detail solution, and you'll notice these guys are only doing it in backwards and forwards lines. You'll never catch a good detailer doing circular motions with a clay bar, and this is mainly because if you do get any contaminants in the clay, it's a lot harder to fix circular swirl motions than it is straight lines. So these guys are keeping it nice and straight just in case. All right, that was the fifth and final wash of the day. It ensures that the paint is absolutely perfect. This is my favorite bit. They air dried the whole car. It's the least contact possible with the paintwork to make for a perfect finish. And it's also great to get in all of those nooks and crannies and panel gaps that you wouldn't normally do. So Tom's here now with this airline, just drying it off. This is the end of the day. So day one is taking a whole day just to detail this car and prep the bodywork in time for PPF, which is now going to take place tomorrow. It's day two and we are back at Signature Group for the second stage of preparing the RS6 for its PPF, and the first stage is to mask the whole car off to protect it from any dust getting in the seals and also from the buffing machine damaging of sensor. Found our first blemish, but we actually think that this is a retouch. I'm not sure if it's from factory, but we definitely have a scratch here, and yeah, someone's tried to fill it in. So this is exactly why we go through this stage of buffing the paint to try and get out problems exactly like this. Hopefully the guys at Signature will be able to fix it. There we go. So first buff done, and as you can see, fortunately that surface is now crystal clear, so thankfully that touch-up wasn't too deep and the paint's back to brand new. Of course, the last time I was here, the process I had done was actually getting the GT3 wrapped. Today the RS6 is getting paint protection film. It's a completely different process as opposed to a wrap where everything's sort of hand-tailored, heat guns and things, trying to fit panels and stretch them. With PPF, as we can see here, everything is pre-configured to be printed out directly on a plotter. So as soon as we hit print, it sends it over to this machine here, and off it goes. As you can see, plenty of slip solution has been applied, and the whole purpose of this is, like, if I move this whole panel can move, so it's really easy to move it around, and it's pliable, so you've still got plenty of time to make this thing fit and stick. As soon as any of these areas go dry, which happens when the squeegee is applied, this thing sticks in place. Okay, day 3 down at Signature. These guys have actually been working on the car a little bit while I've been away. So let's check out what has been done so far. But actually, this is a really cool example of just how good and stealth-like PPF film is. So far, this area of the car has been done. So this right-hand side here, this panel has actually already had PPF applied, and this part of the boot hasn't. If I get in on there, you can see that you cannot tell. And that is exactly what you want. You can't tell that PPF has been applied, then it's a really good job. So right now, this I think is the last day until it's completed. So far, it's looking super, super shiny. And yeah, I just can't wait for it to be done. And then no doubt it'll have its final wash, which I think is wash number 7 by then. And yeah, we'll be able to actually take that car then back down to Audi to actually do the handover with the RS6 for the first time. All right, full paint protection film has now been applied to the car. It's pretty much complete, but one of the last stages is to go around and do a quality control check on every panel of the car, just to make sure that while it's been sat, no edges have peeled, no bubbles have appeared, and it's just that check over to make sure it's absolutely perfect. Okay, so the car is now back in the bay from its outside inspection, and the final finishing touches on this car, which is a treatment separate from PPF, is the interior protection for this car. We're applying a solution that protects against oils, gene stains, things like that. While it's brand new, it's a great opportunity to apply this from day one. So we've got the best opportunity of keeping this car as clean as possible. And in future, when it does get dirty, it's just gonna make it easier when I bring it back to Signature for a clean to remove any surface dirt. Okay, this is it. Even though that I've been with the car the whole week while it's being done, we've seen it from off the truck to looking absolutely pristine. There's no better feeling than seeing your car in perfect condition, rolling out absolutely glistening and shining. And today just so happens to be the hottest day